Hi, welcome to the first episode of Book Talk with me, Sedonia Guillone. Some of you already know me as an author of erotic romance, but back in 2010, I became a publisher too. I opened iPress, that's AI Press, I being the Japanese word for love, which was a perfect name to choose for me because I love setting many of my stories in Japan. So in the last few years, I've had the honor of putting together a stable of other wonderful authors, including D.H. Starr, Maya, Jeff Erno, and A.J. Llewellyn, among other incredible talents. So I hope you'll come and check it out. We have ebooks and trade paperbacks in a bunch of different genres, gay romance, of course, and historical, sci-fi, vampire, paranormal, young adult, and we also have the Kokoro Press imprint, which Kokoro is heart in Japanese, and that is for readers who don't care if a story necessarily has a happy ever after the way our traditional romance does, and books that don't necessarily have a lot of eroticism either. So we offer a variety, and we also have several lines. There's the Dark Sins line, which is pure erotica and also may or may not have a happy ending. And then there's the Tokyo Beat yaoi line, especially for the brand of romances that sort of follow the yaoi genre that of romance that originated in Japan. And anyway, moving on, I'm going to feature today's book, which is Wrestling with Love by D.H. Starr. It's a contemporary gay romance. I'm going to show it to you. It's going to appear backwards in the video, but you can get a sense of what the cover looks like. It's in both ebook and trade paperback. Most of the longer books we publish are in trade paperback, but we have lengths ranging from very short stories all the way to super long novels. So anyway, Wrestling with Love by D.H. Starr is about Derek and Scott. They're two boys who met in high school and fell in love. There was a prequel to that was published by another publisher called Wrestling with Desire. But it continues with Wrestling with Love, where Scott and Derek are going to college. And it's about the challenges that they face when they get there, because one young man doesn't want to live as an out gay couple while the other does, and then they run into another person there who is gay, who has a crush on one of them and outs him. So they have to deal with a lot of struggles and where they stand with each other, and will their love, of course, be strong enough to see them through these challenges. So anyway, that's Wrestling with Love, and I would like to read an excerpt from it. So bear with me, I have to put on my glasses. Chapter 1. Ouch, that hurts. Derek Thompson winced as his muscles stretched beyond a comfortable limit. I'm not in a good position. Here, let me move over, like this. He shifted his body so that he was squatting. He could see the reaction his movement had on his boyfriend Scott Thayer's face, which had taken on a pained expression as he adjusted himself to the new position. Okay, is this better for you now? He was sweating, and Derek could see the sun which was shining through the attic window in his parents' house, reflecting off the droplets of sweat gliding down the sides of Scott's face. Yeah, that feels better. Now go easy. I want to make sure I'm ready for this before we begin again. Derek took a deep breath and prepared for the pressure that was coming. Scott only lifted his hips an inch at a time, watching Derek carefully to make sure he was okay. Pressure increased deep inside Derek, and then he felt a sharp pain. Ouch, son of a bitch! Scott grimaced. Did I hurt you again? Derek gritted his teeth, taking measured breaths until the pain subsided. Yes, I never knew I could feel pain like this. Maybe we should stop for a minute. Scott sighed. Damn it, Derek. You've said that the past 3 times we tried. Can't we just do this and get it over with? I can't help it if this fucking sofa is as heavy as an elephant. Derek slumped to the floor, rubbing his side where the corner had jabbed him in the ribs. With eyes narrowed into slits, he turned to face Scott, a retort on the tip of his tongue. When he stared into those Caribbean blue-green eyes, his resolve melted. I can't stay mad at someone who can make me all floppy inside just by gazing into his eyes. Well, how the hell did you get the couch up here in the first place? Scott released his hold and walked around to the front of the sofa, now positioned in the middle of the room. Grabbing his t-shirt, which lay on the floor, he plopped down heavily and began to mop his face and shoulders. Derek, feeling the pain in his side ease, got up and sat next to Scott. I guess I forgot how heavy it was when Dad and I brought it up here last year. He smiled sheepishly, batting his eyes. I really appreciate that you offered to help me, though. I guess I forgot how much I missed your help during those couple of months when we kind of split up last year. Scott glared at Derek, and he immediately regretted bringing up the painful memory from their past. Still, he wouldn't hold back from saying what was on his mind. Once they'd gotten back together, Derek made a promise to both of them that he would communicate his feelings rather than allowing them to build up inside. Neither of them had handled the stress created by Scott's father well, and they had almost lost each other as a result. Part of the problem had been Derek's difficulty with opening up. He still wasn't great at it, but he was working on it every day. Scott's expression softened, and his crooked grin appeared on his face. Without fail, that grin turned Derek on and decimated his ability to think coherently. Shut up and come over here. Derek sat next to him, sinking into Scott's embrace. As Scott cradled him, Derek was pulled close so their faces were a mere inch apart. You're lucky I love you so much, Scott said, white teeth gleaming behind full lips. Otherwise I would have quit this thankless job after our first try. He closed the gap between their mouths, locking Derek in a rugged kiss. Melting into Scott's strong arms, Derek reveled in the way warm hands gently stroked up and down his back, lingering at the base of his spine, fingers dipping inside the waistband of his pants before he began the slow journey back up Derek's back. Their tongues wrestled, and a mild taste of salt entered his mouth as sweat mixed with saliva. That and a hint of Scott's musky scent, which surrounded the two of them, caused his cock to become rigid. The heat in the attic was pronounced, even with the window open. As they kissed, their bodies slipped against each other. Derek used the slickness to glide his hands along Scott's hairless chest, which had broadened over the course of the summer due to his incessant workouts. He hadn't complained about all the time Scott spent in the gym, because the effect was not only visually pleasing, but gave him new mounds of muscle to grab onto during their make-out sessions. He hoped Scott would be able to make the varsity wrestling team at his new weight class, since he would never weigh in at his high school weight of 167. If he watched his diet, he might be able to make the 179-pound weight class. Jesus, I didn't realize he's gained 12 pounds of muscle in the past 6 months since we won the division championship. Derek sighed. This is nice. Why did you establish the rule that we can't do more than kissing and beating off until we get to college? I'd be happy to just leave the couch right here, get down on my knees in front of you and... Scott laughed. As nice as that sounds, don't you remember the last time we decided to spend quality time up here? Your mom almost caught us in this position. She pops up here unannounced all the time. I don't want to worry about who's going to walk in on us as we finally start to experience that level of intimacy together. It's only 2 weeks. We agreed to this 2 months ago. Besides, you're the one who said you had to move the couch to the other side of the room so you could set up your mixing equipment and all of your music by the window. Now that this piece of shit is in the middle of the room, we're gonna finish this job. He released Derek and pulled out of the embrace, glancing toward the door. Anyway, I enjoyed that too. I hope you enjoyed it. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us, and I hope you'll check out the website for iPress. It's www.ai-press.com. i-press.net. So it's www.ipress.net. And again, I'm Sedonia Guillone. And if you have any questions, you can always email me at sedonia.guillone@gmail.com. I always love to hear from readers. And until next time, take care. Thank you. Bye.